It's noon and it's Thursday, so this is Coffee with Ralph. CoffeeWithRalph.com was a free 15-minute call with me. And, over the last several weeks, probably a month, we've been talking about this thing called long-term care. Last few weeks, I've talked about memories and how they make us who we are and what it's like when you lose those memories. Well, I had another session discussing some of the things that goes along with this topic when I received a slide deck, if you will, from the CLTC group, which is the Certification in Long-Term Care group. They've just completed a study. Well, let me share the screen with you, and then you can, and then we can do this. Hey, let's see, where's the share screen? There we go. Right there. That's the one I want right there. All right. We should be up and rolling. I'm sure you can see it. As you can see, the title was Following the Journey of Family Caregivers, the Findings from a Survey. What was the survey? Here's the basic questions. What challenges do you face as a family caregiver? The number of questions going on there. Does the experience of being a caregiver raise awareness of the need to plan ahead for one's own future long-term care needs? Those are some of them. And there's a platform. They did an online survey of 10 to 15 minutes of just family caregivers, some who used paid care, some didn't. Well, here's the key takeaways. I hear people say to me, it was such an honor. It's an honor to take care of my folks in that time. All right, so here's the key takeaway. This is from all respondents. Look at this. 80% of them say they need emotional support, making care decisions, help with their ADLs. That's the most typical providing. Challenges, most difficult task for the caregiver. Oh, look at this. First one up there. Paying for care. Wait a minute. They're not paying for their own care. They're paying for somebody else's care here, helping with their ADLs, making care decisions. I had this whole thing set up today to talk about that one area right there. I think if nothing else, you do no other planning. If you will simply sit down and look at every decision you make every day, from what I buy at the store to who goes for my medication to, oh gosh, just everything. How often do I want to shave? I mean, the decisions we make every day should be written down and provided to our family ahead of time. So the biggest challenges, getting emotional support. You call your family, they don't understand it. They have to take time off of work, courting with the docs and other providers. So that's not an easy thing. So there's nothing here so far that says this is an honor. The most important reason family caregivers cite for using paid cares is their lack of expertise. So they hire somebody that knows out. But look at the second one, burnout. They just do too much of it. Worried about their job or paying enough attention to work. Most significant part of using paid home care, people say that's what I'm going to do, is the cost. Who's paying for it? How are we paying for it? And then there's the fact that sometimes the workers don't show up. Important reasons for not using. See, I haven't reviewed this whole thing. I'm reviewing it with you right on the air. So you can understand where we're going, where I'm going here, and where you need to go. For not using paid care, well, you're going to find it right there. Couldn't afford it. The loved one didn't want a stranger around. Probably has dementia or Alzheimer's. Look at the first one. Felt it was my duty to provide the care. Not my honor, not a privilege, my duty. What would have been easier if you had paid care? Oh, just everything. How about enjoying my life? Wait a minute. So this isn't fun? Dealing with emotional strain. of caregiving, watching the decline of our loved one, taking better care of myself. That, my friend, is the next level that needs to be discussed. You don't take care of yourself, guess who's going to need care soon? Probably sooner than later. Let's damage our own bodies and then see if we can take care of ourselves. If you had to do it over, would you do it over? Well, I think if you add the next two, you get 75% of them say, I'm just not sure I'd do it. And of course, there's different reasons for that too. Here's a good one. Did it influence your future planning? Well, I think you got to get down there and you'll see that only 17% said it didn't affect me at all. I think that just means that, well, there's another one coming up. What would you do different? Here it is. Here's your retirement preparation. Take a look at this. I have said, and I keep reiterating, the need to have your needs and wants spelled out specifically. So there's no question. Here's what I want. Here's how I get it. Here's how we pay for it. Look at this group of them and tell me or tell yourself what wasn't done for them. I'm going to talk with my family about preferences and needs. 60% of them. They're going to set money aside. They're going to research care options. And they're going to buy or they have bought long-term care insurance. Look at this and think to yourself, if it takes me getting into a position where I have to take care of somebody, what was it? Do I just up here? Because I felt it was my responsibility, my obligation. Well, if it's your obligation or your children's obligation to take care of you, then you should be taking care of this. You should be telling them what they need, what you want, how you're going to get it, when you want it. It's got to be spelled out. It's got to be specific. I mean, of course, there's going to be some things. Do I wear blue socks with a black coat? Things like that, common sense stuff. But some detailed findings here, we'll find that, of course, most people are taking care of a parent or a grandparent. Where it's provided is no surprise to me. It shouldn't be none to you. I want to stay home. So that's where the wall goes down. But then what kind of help do caregivers provide? This was one of the questions. How about that? Look at it. Look at the list. Emotional support or comfort, transportation, housekeeping, handling finances, managing RX, meal prep, care decisions, home maintenance, arranging in-home care, ADL help, adult daily activities of daily living, home safety, and paying for care. 33% over here, 33% are paying for the care of their parent, their mom and dad, or their grandparent, or helping pay for it. Look at the list. Doesn't it look like you're living their life for them? I think it does. What tasks do they find most difficult? Oh my goodness, look at this one. Way over here to the right, 58% said what? Oh, paying for care. But look at the list. These are respondents from people who are caregivers currently. Look at the list. It's intense. Everything in there: housekeeping, managing, drugs, care decisions, arranging in-home care, home safety, buying or renting equipment, handling finances, your assets. Who's managing those when you're not? Your financial advisor? He hasn't a clue what you're going through. Your kids? They don't have a clue what you set up. You set it up because you know what you're doing with them. What if it's up to somebody else? That's not, it looks like, and if you look at it, it's mostly relying on one or two children to do all this stuff. Most frequently encountered challenges. The list goes on and on and on. 33% said what? Oh, getting emotional support. Getting emotional support for themselves. not for their parents, they're not for the person they're giving care for, themselves. You think that's going to cause a problem? Down the road, I'll bet it does. 32% said what? Oh, coordinating with doctors. Yeah. I can tell you why. Call my doctor. My wife calls my doctor right now and says, hey, Ralph needs this and that done. My doctor goes, well, is Ralph available? Well, I've got his power of attorney. Oh, I don't have it. So get him on the phone. So now she's got to rush around. If I'm in a need of care, bring that in there and say, see, I've got the right to talk to you. Now what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's stupid. We don't take care of the ones that are taking care of us. In advance, we have to do that. So why? Look at this. Why do caregivers, family caregivers, turn to paid in-home care? 70% said, what? 70% go over one, keep my job, maintain my relationship, more time with family. They are burnt out emotionally. But look at the level to decide to buy care, to get help. I had to keep my job. More time, someone to be there where I can't. That's somebody struggling with a parent with Alzheimer's and living in their own home, not doing a good job. That's every child's fear. I'm not doing right by my mom and dad. It's impacting my health. 54% have said it's impacting my health. Half the caregivers are sick now because they're taking care of somebody. Why? We'll go back up. 35% of them aren't taking care of themselves. Most important reason for using in-home care. You look over the screen. This isn't me. This isn't a long-term care professional talking. This is caregivers talking, right? How'd you find the paid? Well, there you go. Word of mouth is a good one. I mean, this was such an intense study. I'm going to stop to share because I sometimes think that details, the amazing amount of decisions that we have to make about this subject keeps many of us from doing anything. But the problem with that is somebody's going to do it. And it's going to be our family. Why don't we let them do what they do best? Why don't we let them love on us? Why don't we let them be the emotional support? It's just going to be difficult enough for them. Why are we imposing on them to be the ones to do all those other things? What other things? Oh my gosh, what do we talk about? Managing our finances, doing home maintenance, fixing food, running drugs. That didn't sound right. Going to get my prescriptions, getting me to the doctor. Oh my gosh, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. It is, in fact, if you look at that list and you take time to think about what that list says to you, you've said, I need you to walk beside me and live my life for me. Let me live through you to do what I need to do for me. It's just not even a good, I can't even say it right. I can't live the way I need to live, so I need you to be here so I can live the way I want to live. It's just not good. Just not good. And I've been preaching, and I'm probably preaching to the choir, right? We all have plans. That's why 1% of America has any kind of long-term care insurance in place, because we all have a plan. And you're absolutely right. We have a plan. Our plan is to have children so they can take care of us. After all, what good are they? What do we have them for? if it wasn't to take care of us when we're old. Look what we're doing. Isn't it a family obligation? Hey, listen, this has been Coffee with Ralph. I'm going to review that a little bit more next week after Easter. By the way, have a blessed Easter. I'm going to dig into it a bit more. I don't want to talk about how I'm going to pay for it yet. We'll get there. Right now, I think we need to talk about why we need to plan and how important is it that we plan. Again, if you want a summation of those, if you want a summary of those findings, all you got to do is drop me a line. I'll be more than happy to send you off the highlight sheet from that webinar that I was on there. Amazing stuff in there. It's everything we preach. It's everything I try to get my clients to look at. And for the ones that do, it's an easy transition. The family stays intact. He gets the care or she gets the care they need when they need it. No questions, no fighting, just love, just living out our life the way we need to live it out. Hey, this has been Coffee with Ralph. Like I said, I'm Ralph Gale. I'm your host. I've been the founder, am the founder of Fireproof Financial Footprint. And, well, that's my plan anyways. And it really does mean what I think you think it means. I think this is a firestorm in our life. Heavier than any recession we've ever seen because it lasts until the end of our days and will drain us financially. It will damage our family. It will damage us. Until next week, have a blessed week.